Father God, we're so thankful to be here, Lord. We're thankful, Lord, that as a little city, Lord, as a small city, Lord, that we live in a country that we can come before you and lift up your name, Lord. As we pray over the leaders of our city and our country, Lord, we're thankful for all that you do for us. Thank you, Lord, for the freedom that we have in this country and in the city, Lord. Father, I just pray over our leaders here in the city that you will give them your grace, Lord, as they govern over our city, Father. And I pray, Lord, for all the citizens here in Los Banos, California, that you continue to bless us, Lord, that you continue to shine your grace upon us, Lord, that you will continue to protect us and cause us, Lord, to always look to you when we are in trouble, Father. We're thankful for all that you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I'd like to call this meeting to order for December 17th, 2025. And Chief, if we have the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that was our police chaplain, Stuart. Thank you for doing the invocation. So now, let's see. If we could have roll call, please, Lucy.
Perez?
Here.
Sanders?
Here.
Chavez?
Here.
Lewis?
Here.
Amabile?
I am here. Next item is consideration of the approval of the agenda as submitted.
So approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted to the City Council. Any questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we're going to have some presentations. Thank you, Lucy. Well, first off, every thank you.
Is it go?
So every month we have our Employee of the Month. And at the end of the year, we have our Employee of the Year. And this person exemplifies what it means to be an outstanding city employee, consistently demonstrating a positive can-do attitude, exceptional work ethics, and strong leadership. Their dedication and commitment to excellence reflect the highest standards of service to the city of Los Banos. He was previously named Employee of the Month, June 2025, for playing a key role in the planning and preparation of the homeless camp cleanup project. So on behalf of the entire city of Los Banos, we want to congratulate Mark Hagee as foreman in the Public Works Department for Employee of the Year. Mark, if you come forward. The other. Thank you, Mark. Mark's best of the best. Oh, Mark. Yeah. So as you can tell, we finally have new pins with our logos on them, so we're going to start using those and handing out so everybody can be proud of their city and their community. So now we have presentations recognizing city committees and commissions. And so let's see, we'll start off with Airport Advisory. Anyone from the Airport Advisory, please come forward. So all these committees and commissions are very important to the city. They meet sometimes once a month, sometimes every other month, but the department head guides them through what's coming up to the city council. So come forward. And it's really important to get, the opinions, the dialogue from our citizens. And this is the first step before you get to the city council. We encourage everybody to please look at the commissions and the committees that are formed for this city and try to be a part of them. You can really make a difference for our community. There's 5 of us up here, but we need a lot of voices to hear. And so it's on behalf of the City Council, and let's see. So this is the Airport Advisory Commission, and therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize and commend Denise, and I'll get yours, Dennis. Dennis, on being part of their dedicated service to the Los Banos Airport Commission. And it's our pleasure, and we can't thank you enough for your service to the community. And congratulations. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. Okay, so next is Measure H, Citizen Committee. And we have Herman and Douglas. Oh, I saw. Okay. Thanks so much. I got the right one. So Herman here is part of the Measure H Citizen Oversight Commission. And what they do is they make sure that the city, we have a Measure H and a Measure P that collect tax monies and then puts them towards our police department and our fire department and our public parks department. And so they overlook to make sure that what the bond said at the voting time when that bond passed, that the city council is actually doing what the bond says it's supposed to do. So this is very important. And then they can come to us and say things aren't right, or to staff. And it's very important to keep everything. These citizen committees are throughout the county. You know, the college has one, the county has them. So this is very important. So Herman Jackson, he is here, and he was appointed to serve as a member of the Los Banos Measure H Citizen Oversight Committee on January 17th, 2024. And he's faithfully attended all the regular meetings of the commission. And he's a dedicated member of the Los Banos Measure H Citizen Oversight Commission and continually provides his support to the goals and mission of the commission. So now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize and commend Herman for his dedicated service as a member of the Los Banos H Citizen Oversight Commission. Congratulations. And Douglas Young is not here this evening, but he was appointed also in December 30. Let's see, his term ends December 31st, 2025. Hopefully he can continue. He first became on the commission on April 17th, 2024. And we can't thank Douglas enough for his commitment and his oversight to the Measure H Commission. So on behalf of Douglas, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, Measure P. So I'm not handing out the pins that I'm supposed to be handing out. So Lucy, hand out to the people already. There's only one man up here. So Richard Stewart here, and I know Jerry Giesel's here. Jerry, come forward. So both Jerry and Richard are serving on the Measure P Citizen Oversight Commission, and this commission's been in place since the early 2000s when the first public safety half-cent sales tax went into a place for the city. And so they have both been a big part of the Citizen Oversight Committee, and their voice has been needed to make sure we are doing what we promised to do. So on behalf of the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos, we do hereby recognize both Richard and Jerry for their dedication, their service as a member of the Measure P Citizen Oversight Commission. Nathan Mancebo? Okay. And Nathan's also part of this. And Measure P too. Okay. So we'll have the chief up here. Tell Nathan thank you, and we'll do a picture here. Here's some pins for you. Newly printed.
I was going to remind you.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Keep me straight. Now, Parks and Recreation Commission members. John's here. I didn't see you, John. Jerry. It's good to see both of you. How many years have you been on the Parks Commission?
Well, it was 25 years ago when this fellow here said, I think you ought to join the Parks and Recreation Commission. There was a reason for it, which we won't go into, but I said, okay, all right. And then since 2000, I've been serving either on Parks and Rec or the Tree Commission, so that's 25 years. And now that I've turned 80, it's time for younger people like Jerry to keep things going. But I will add, as Mayor Mike said, that it's really important to be a part of a commission. You become a part of the city, you get to know more about what's going on, and you're performing a true civic duty.
Thank you, John. So like John said, it's a very important part. Our parks are very important to our city, and it's really for the youth. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize Jerry and John for their dedicated service as a member of the Los Banos Parks and Recreation Commission. Congratulations.
Part of the reason it was my honor and privilege to serve on Parks and Recreation and Tree Commissions, we've had outstanding Parks and Recreation directors that I've worked with. Rick Dahlgren, Joe Souza, Paul Cardoza, and Joe Heim. We've had some extraordinary people that all of us in Los Banos can be proud of.
Thank you, John. Thanks, Jerry. Last but not least, we have our Tree Commission, Abel and Larry. So Larry has been, since I got elected, it's been a year since I was elected. He's been at a lot of the different functions in the parks. We've talked about trees. We've talked about business. He's been a big part of this city. He's given me his ideas. A very smart man that knows what's best for our community. And on behalf of the city of Los Banos, you have attended your meetings regularly for the Tree Commission. You're a dedicated member of the Los Banos Tree Commission, continually providing your support to goals and missions of the commission. And you have fulfilled your term as a member of the Los Banos Tree Commission as of December 31st, 2025. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize and commend Lawrence Byers for his dedicated service as a member of the Los Banos Tree Commission. We can't thank you enough. And you'll be accepting for Abel. So again, Abel, we thank Abel. Let's see, it also started in March 20th, 24. And as a member, as the mayor and the council members, we thank Abel Molina for the dedication to the Tree Commission, for the dedicated service as a member of the Los Banos Tree Commission. So make sure, at least.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got a pen here. Thank you. Does that do it? And before we go on to our public forum, I'd like to introduce our Public Works Director, William Vi. You have a presentation, William? Our engineer.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and council members. Tonight, I'd like to introduce to you our new city engineer. I'm assuming that's what we're doing here, right?
Yes.
Our new city engineer, James Kozad, who joined us here tonight. Do you want to say a few words, James? He'll give you probably a little bit better background than I would. So.
Welcome, James. Welcome to the city.
Thank you. Good evening, council. I don't think I've had the pleasure of shaking all of your hands, but I look forward to that. I look forward to working with all of you. Don't have a whole lot planned to say. Stacy wanted me to mention what a wonderful staff we have here, and from my time here before, I can confirm that is very true. Just want to say thank you to all of you for the warm welcome, and I'm just so happy to be back. And if any of you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out, and can't wait to get started.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome aboard.
It's James' second day too, by the way, so he
Okay.
just started. We also have another Public Works employee here tonight. Jeline DeMello has recently been promoted to the Engineering Operations Manager in Public Works. And you want to say a few words, Jeline? Jeline has been with us about 22 years, I think. 28. See, that's why it's better if you get up and.
Only 28?
Yes, yes, thank you, council. Yes, I started as a junior in high school, part-time, and I've worked my way all the way up to now operations manager. So I'm excited and looking forward to getting to work with James and with William, and we've got a great team and lots of projects in line, so I'm excited, and reach out to me if you need anything.
Well, congratulations for your promotion.
Thank you.
Anybody else, William? Anybody else out there?
Not this meeting, the next meeting. I'm
Okay, okay.
going to have quite a lineup for you.
Okay, good. That's all good stuff. Okay, now we'll go to our public forum. Members of the public may address the city council on any item of public interest that's within the jurisdiction of our city, includes agenda and non-agenda items. No action will be taken on non-agenda items, and speakers have 5 minutes. Please come forward to the podium and introduce yourself to the city council. We welcome you. Welcome.
Good evening, people of the Crossroads. My name is Inez Brown. And I have a bunch of good news, but I think this is top of the list. I've spoken about this last year, and it's Nassar Jassara. Nassar Jassara is otherwise known as the the National Security and Reformation Act, and the president will be initiating it come this year, the end of next year, and so forth. So it's imminent. The benefits of it is tax dollars are going to be found to be traced from the IRS to the Bank of England and to the Vatican, because they've been driving up the debt state by state, city by city, council by council. So because the farmers caught on to this, and we have farmers here, Nassar Jassar is basically a farmer-wide lawsuit across the nation, brought up to the U.S. It's brought up to the U.S. Supreme Court from back in the 1900s. So when the gold standard was changed from our money being gold-backed, silver-backed, platinum-backed, to now how we have it being backed by nothing and floating on itself, it caused a huge ripple effect when it comes to the debt. And the benefits of Nassar being implemented rids debt. So it affects everyone. What it'll basically do when it comes online is it'll zero out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank account debts due to the illegal banking and government activities resulting in the debt forgiveness of the people that the government has been using as debt leverage. That includes birth certificate accounts, any surety or bond accounts put into our individual names. All of it's collected into one big pool. It'll also create a 14% flat rate of non-essential new items. Only tax revenue for the government, i.e. food and medicine, will not be taxed, nor will old homes so a lot of the homes in the city aren't going to be affected. I know that we have a bunch of cities that have been building houses, us included, but a lot of the old houses here are in pristine condition. I myself have been looking at a couple, but it will not be affecting the city in that aspect. So real estate is going to be relatively healthy in this regard. There's going to be increased benefits for senior citizens. So all the things senior citizens benefit from already, it's going to be doubled, tripled, and then there's going to be more incentives given. What it's also going to do is it's going to return the way we do things when it comes to economic value and financial stability. It's going to put everything back under constitutional law, because recently everything's been admiralty law, which is law of the sea, and I'm sure you guys can do your studies on that. It'll reinstate titles of nobility. So people that have indigenous ties to the land, they're going to be able to get their, say land was stolen or land was sold off, that stuff, especially for people that don't have homes and stuff now, it's going to be returned. And so whether that be anybody in any of having lost ones, things like that, everything's going to be returned back to the rightful people, back to the rightful families, and not going to be held in bond or surety accounts with the government. What's going to happen is there's going to be a creation of a new U.S. Treasury, and gold, silver-backed currency is going to come back. It's going to end bankruptcy in the United States, initiated by Roosevelt back in 1933 when he changed the standard from gold-backed currency to now fiat-based currency, which we all use today. It's going to initiate a new U.S. Treasury bank system. Right now, I know for sure that it's held in Nevada, Right now, then Treasury got moved from East Coast over to Nevada, so it's closer by, and everything's going to be re-established, reorganized in the manner that it should have been back before the government changed the currency from being gold-backed, having actual value, to having no value.
If you could sum up your 5 minutes is up.
It's also going to retrain all the judges and the attorneys in common law, removing the admiralty jurisdictional law that we've been running off of. I know this is very vague, but it's going to do a lot of good. I know poverty is going to be gone. I know that people struggling is going to be, it's going to cease. And I know that for a fact, everybody's going to get the amount of wealth that we deserve individually. And it's going to help also incentivize us to do the public works that we're already doing. There's going to be a huge grant pool in the millions range for everyone that's involved in doing public works, similar to the Pell Grant with the students. But it's going to be key, and I implore you all that you research Dr. Kia Pruitt's information. She has a bunch of different platforms of which she studies this stuff and which she gets the word out to the people. But YouTube is the easiest platform because it reaches the most amount of people. And she's been very active on there, and she's been covering the fact that everything that I've just said is in play, even during the government shutdowns, state by state, county by county, city by city, council by council. It's a trickle-down effect. So it's very key that we manage all of our affairs from here on out. We've already been doing a pretty good job as far as I can see, even myself included. But it's going to be huge, like I said.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to speak? Come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Honorable Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Blanche George, and I live in the downtown area. I wanted to say thank you very much to this mayor, this council, and the staff, and chief. What you did when you approved monies for the spay and neutering and for helping the animals has really paid off. The experience last week by having the snip bus, by the snip bus, we were off on our own. We're grateful to the Parks and Recs for allowing us the parking lot and everybody that worked behind the scenes to get those individuals on the list to get it done. I just want to express to you one or two points. People patiently waited in line. There was no fussing or pushing or I had to stand here for a long time. Everybody was grateful, and everybody wanted to thank you guys for what you did. There were dogs there that had had 2 litters of pups previous and would accidentally get out, and you know, the birds and the bees would happen. It was stressful for the families, and as well as the dog. Some of the dogs were already finished with their lactation to the puppies, so we were able to go ahead and help them. The cats that had had civil litters had their uterus was expanded so much because it had so many kittens. There was children there in line asking questions and learning about what we were doing. So all in all, we were able to process to be able to make the freedom of families in our community and their animals to be able to walk outside for the first time without being stressful that there was, no shots, no rabies shots and everything. And it was because also you guys took on board to be able to push this, approve this, through this, and the police chief and Sergeant Ivan Mendez and the animal control individuals to be able to push this through. The last time we had did this, I had to transport from April to October twice a week for all those months. I had to transport to Hollister, and with either 70 cats in the vans or going back and forth, always praying through the roundabout because they were family pets that I wasn't going to get into trouble if I got in an accident in the roundabout trying to get to that Hollister area. So this relieved a lot of things that we really didn't need to do because they came here. We went ahead and worked in the freezing cold, but we were taken care of, and I just wanted to let everybody know on how much we appreciate it. So keep on your good works, because truly it is really helping the families of the community and the pets of the community. Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, please come forward. Okay, I do not see or hear anyone coming forward. So Lucy, I know we have a letter that came in. If you could read that, please.
Good evening. I am writing to follow up on the decision made at the last City Council meeting to dismiss option 3, the purchase and rehabilitation of a local motel, specifically the La Plaza Inn, for use as a long-term shelter for unhoused individuals. After speaking directly with La Plaza Inn management, it is clear that the information presented at the last council meeting regarding this option was not fully accurate. Management stated they are very willing to participate in this effort and confirmed that no one from the city has contacted them in over a year regarding potential use of the property. They further indicated that occupancy at the motel remains extremely low, both for travelers and for stays exceeding 30 days. As a result, the property generates minimal transient occupancy tax revenue. While a COVID-era voucher program temporarily raised occupancy to approximately 50%, that program has long since ended. In the past year, only 1 or 2 families have been placed there using Merced County vouchers, and they typically leave once the voucher expires. On average, the motel operates at approximately 1 to 2% occupancy and is frequently at 0 occupancy for both travelers and long-term residents. One of the stated reasons for rejecting this option was concern about displacing current residents. That concern was refuted by hotel management, who confirmed that long-term occupancy is minimal and inconsistent. Stays exceeding 30 days does not generate TOT revenue. The only period they are close to full is a month or 2 during harvest season. Concerns about potential loss of TOT revenue is unsupported by current conditions. The city is not forfeiting meaningful revenue. In contrast, converting this underutilized property into a stable long-term shelter would provide substantial and lasting community benefit by addressing urgent homelessness needs. With the ongoing conditions of the G Street encampment, I request the City Council to reconsider this decision. Continuing to implement short-term temporary solutions rather than a viable, already existing option fails to address the scale and urgency of the problem. Option 3 warrants a fact-based reevaluation. Thank you, Julie Creighton.
Any other letters?
That's all I received.
So Julie does make some good points. I'm going to talk a little bit about the decision-making, what the council did during my comments at the end of the meeting. So we will now close the public hearing. Appreciate everybody that spoke. We'll move to item 7, consideration approval of consent agenda. And on the consent agenda this evening, Lucy.
Items on the consent agenda are as follows. Warrant numbers 255135 through 255328 in the amount of $2,889,900. $88,333.15. City Council meeting minutes for November 19th, 2025. City Council meeting minutes for December 3rd, 2025. City Council Resolution Number 7033, accepting public improvement for Dove Hollow, The Villages 5, Phase 3, Unit 3. And the items are to be approved as submitted.
Okay, is there any council members that would like to discuss any of the items that are on the consent agenda or pull them off for further consideration? Okay, if we could have a motion for approval then?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to adopt the resolution, actually, the consent agenda as stated. Any further questions or comments by the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and that also included Resolution 7033. Okay, our next item is also a public hearing. If you challenge the proposed action as described herein in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at a public hearing described herein or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. Our first public hearing is to receive public comment and consideration of accepting the Development Impact Fee Report, AB 1600 report for fiscal year 2021 through 2025. And before I open up the public hearing, I will turn it over to staff, Finance Director Morano to introduce this item.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. Tonight, I'll be presenting the Development Impact Fee Report, also known as AB 1600 report, covering fiscal years 2021 through 2025. This report summarizes how the city collects, manages, and uses development impact fees to support infrastructure and public facilities needs for the new development. State law, specifically California Government Code Section 66006, requires cities to publish an annual accounting of all development impact fees. This includes the description of each fee, the amount collected, beginning and ending fund balances, interest earned, expenditures made during the fiscal year, and when applicable, the estimated timeline for construction of the improvements. Additionally, under Government Code Section 66001D, every 5 years, the city must have specific findings for any funds that have unspent balances older than 5 years. This ensures transparency and demonstrates that the funds are being held for legitimate planned capital projects. The city collects several types of development fees, each tied to a specific category of public infrastructure. For instance, fire facilities developer impact fee, or better known as DIF, supports construction and improvements of fire stations and related facilities. Police facilities DIF funds law enforcement facilities, including a future substation, radio system upgrades, and new vehicles and equipment. Park and Recreation DIF supports new parks and improvements to existing recreational facilities. Water Facilities DIF funds improvements to the city's water system, including wells, storage, and distribution. Sewer Facility DIF supports wastewater treatment collection system expansion and non-potable water facilities. Storm Drainage DIF funds improvements to the stormwater system. Traffic Facilities DIF supports roadways, intersections, and transportation system improvements. General Government DIF funds capital projects for general fund buildings. And a 3% administration fee covers administrative costs associated with managing the DIF program. The following slide provides the adopted fee schedule through the end of fiscal year 2025. The table above summarizes the financial activity for each DIF fund for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. There are some key highlights. Park and Recreation, Water, and Sewer funds have the highest revenue totals, driven both by fee collection and strong interest earnings. Several funds have significant expenditures, particularly Parks and Recreation and Police, reflecting the ongoing capital project activity that has been happening. Most funds end the year with a positive net revenue, increasing their fund balances. All fund balances remain restricted for their intended capital purposes. State law requires us to identify any DIF funds holding deposits older than 5 years. Funds without deposits older than 5 years are the police department, or the police DIF, Funds with deposits older than 5 years, all of which have planned projects identified, is fire, planned EOC station construction, Parks and Recreation, improvements to Colorado Park, water, well number 16, chromium 6 treatment, and Mercy Springs distribution line, sewer, treatment plant rehabilitation, lift station upgrades, and 36-inch trunk line extension, stormwater, a planned detention basin, traffic, intersection improvements and pioneer widening, general government, the renovation of the annex and city hall, and then the 3% admin continued implementation of the Tyler ERP system. These findings confirm that all funds with older balances are properly committed to future capital projects. The note section addresses statutory requirements under Code Section 66006B. One important note, all fees collected are earmarked for current or future capital projects necessary to maintain service levels and new development occurs. There are no fees requiring reimbursement under AB 1600. Our recommendation is to open the public hearing, close the public hearing, and then council formally accept the development impact fee report, AB 1600 report for fiscal year 2021 through 2025 as submitted, and we can answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing to receive comment and consideration accepting the Development Impact Fee Report, AB 1600 report for the fiscal year 2021 through 2025. Anyone would like to speak on this subject, please come forward and to the podium and introduce yourself. Okay, I do not see or hear anyone coming forward, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and then turn it over to City Council for any questions of Director Moreno, or I'll take a motion if you have no questions. It's pretty straightforward.
Mayor,
Sure.
is there, I'm looking to see, there's no resolution number to this, is there? Okay,
Yeah, this
so I'll
is
make a motion to accept the report as read and submitted to council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept. Evan seconded. To receive a public comment, a report on the development impact fee. And if you want to see this actually report, you can go online to www.losbanos.org and you can read this report if you're interested in it. So we have a motion and a second to accept the report as submitted. Any further questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And report has been accepted. And next item is appoint of member to the following commission. And we had one unexpired term in District 1 that expires in December 31st, 2028. And this is actually for the Planning Commission. And this will give us a full commission, right, Stacy? You have anything to say about this appointment? No? Okay, well, so I want to just talk a little bit about the process. I don't know if we've ever actually really talked about it in public. It's So when I was mayor the first time around, it was basically before we had districts, the mayor selected all the commissioners. So after districts were formed, then it's the mayor and the one council member in that district selects a commissioner or committee member to serve on that commission. This planning commission was a appointment for District 1, which is Mitzi's district. So her and I and Sarah Belden and we do it by Zoom. There's about 6-7 questions. Staff asks the questions. And this is all by resolution through the city. Staff asks the questions. We do not ask the questions. We can follow up questions, but I want to make it very clear that all the questions are asked, each person applying exactly the same. So the one staff member asks these questions. And then the council member and myself listen to their answers. Sometimes there's follow-up questions, sometimes there's not. And so we had 3 applications for this one position. And Mitzi and myself, I guess it was about a week ago, we did the Zoom meetings and we listened. And these are difficult decisions because you hear us ask, please submit applications to be on commissions. Please help the city out, be on a commission, be on a committee and do all this stuff. And then when you get one opening and you have 3 qualified people applying for it, you have to pick one, and it's tough. And we encourage everybody to please continue to apply for these commissions and these committees. And so it's really important for the council to hear everybody's decision. Planning Commission is a very important part of the city government. So with that, that's how we handle it. We've handled it since I've been on mayor for a year now. We've appointed a lot of people, each council member, myself, appointed people in their districts. The mayor does, myself, I appoint everybody that's at large, because my seat is at large. I'm not running in a district. So we do it that way. But believe me, everything is done exactly the same. We're all present, and we're there to do it right. And it is a difficult decision. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Perez. You want to nominate your selection?
So after speaking with the mayor, we did decide to nominate Shui. Do you like to come up and say anything?
I can introduce myself.
Yes. First of all, thank you for being here and applying. We really appreciate it.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shui Martinez. I am a local realtor, and I am also a community schools liaison here for our school district. I am excited to see where this takes us and what I can do to further serve our community. I have been in Los Banos for about 25 years now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. So, Mitzi, if you could make that motion to appoint her to your position.
Yes, I'd like to motion to have Shui Martinez as the Planning Commission for District 1.
Second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second as stated. Any further questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Okay, next item is item 10, consideration of adopting of the City Council Resolution 7034, adopting the 2025 City of Los Banos Emergency Operations Plan revision and the 2025 Emergency Operation Annexes. And we'll turn it over to our Fire Chief, Twala. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City staff. I'm here tonight to help present the updated Emergency Operations Plan. It's been a long work in progress, and we go a little bit of background into the Emergency Operations Plan itself for the city. So part of the Emergency Operations Plan is to help establish coordinated response efforts with our other local government partners and even our non-for-profits and our public-private partnerships we may have is included in the plan. So it's to help protect life, property, and the environment during major incidents. And then this plan also helps us maintain that continuity of government so that even though we're managing an emergency incident, that we are still continuing the services that we provide every day without disruption. So, and then this plan also helps align with our federal and state standards for reimbursement, which is a big key thing, and alignment with standardized emergency management system. Okay, there we go. So we have updated the emergency operations plan. The last plan was updated while former Chief Tim Marison was here. And the plans are typically updated about every 5 years. Although as a city, we will look at these every year to make sure that there's no needed changes, whether they're legislative or we've identified new hazards. So as part of that emergency operations plan update, we'll look at outdated plans, make sure that we are addressing any of the risks that we have in our community. We may end up having new risks that we need to address and have a plan for that. Identifying any new hazards, and then updating any legislative requirements that they may have in regards to emergency operations. So, and having this plan helps us be ready for any type of incident, and then we're coordinating that incident appropriately. So, I'm not going to go through all the government codes, but there are government code sections that talk about when government has to update plans, prepare emergency plans, the compliance that we have to maintain, which we are in compliance with, and then the responsibilities of the local agencies in regards to emergency operations. A big key component of this emergency operation plan is not only to have a plan when we have a major incident, but it's also having the ability to reimburse on some larger incidents where we may have federal or state reimbursement. So it's key that we have this plan up to date and that we're abiding by that. So, I talked about this a little bit. It's required for state and federal funding eligibility, and it gives a common operating structure. So if we happen to have an incident here in the city and we open up a department operations center and it kind of expands into the county, we'll have the common same operating structure as the county would be if the county had to come in and help us with this. So we're looking at the same platform, just that each individual city or county may have different hazards, and we address those specific hazards within our plan. So this does help us coordinate with our state and federal partners during an emergency. So I know that when we provided the packet, and thank you, Lucy, and your staff for putting together this very large packet, because part of the emergency operations plan are the appendixes that go along with this that cover quite a few things. So it covers hazard identification, the emergency response, communication and warning systems, evacuation and sheltering procedures that we have to have, continuity of operations, and then recovery and mitigation strategies plans that are within that document. So I know there's quite a bit to digest. What was really nice about this preparation this time with this emergency operation plan, they had broken down the appendices a little bit better compared to the last plan. So, and I'll speak a little bit about that. Part of this process started back in 2023. We started to work with the county. The county had hired a consultant and used Homeland Security grants money that was available, and every city, including the county of Merced, participated in the emergency operation plan update. I went to several meetings. We had some difficulties getting to every meeting, so our Anco Technologies, which was the consultant for this project, actually came out to Los Banos for 2 days and actually spoke with our staff and spent some time with our staff, got to look at our facilities, got to look at some of the hazards we had within our own community, which was really nice to actually have them here on the ground. Those experts were able to help us tailor our plan very specific to Los Banos to make sure that we're addressing some of those concerns. So, and everybody was involved in the process, from HR to finance to community and economic development, parks and rec, and pretty much all of our city staff actually participated in those 2 days. So it was really nice having them here. And then County of Merced, Office of Mercy Services stayed in contact with us during the whole process to make sure that we were staying on task. And to include not only talking with our city staff, but they also included some of our regional partners, such as our non-for-profits like Red Cross, and then identifying some of our private businesses that might be able to help us on that public-private partnership. So, again, the benefits of the adoption of a new plan. It strengthens our citywide preparedness throughout, helps us enhance our response efficiency, keeping things up to date, making sure we're in compliance, and then making us still eligible for any federal or disaster reimbursement, whether it be federal or state. So once the plan's adopted, we'll be working with the city manager. We've had quite a few discussions on working with council on dealing with some things like our environmental hazards that we may have, weather hazards, also updating the municipal code to be more in line with our emergency activation of our EOC and DOC. And then right now we're actually working with the county, because now that the county's completed the emergency operations plan updates, that we're working on the hazard mitigation plan, which goes in line with your emergency operations plan. So we're currently working on that. Had the first meeting last week and hope to have a final adoption and update hazard plan for our community here adopted by early 2027. So, and this will also help us guide some functional exercises that we're planning to have here in the city involving our staff, so we can kind of test the plan to make sure that we are ready, or be able to address any concerns that we may have or things that we may need to address to make sure that our appendix for a particular, whether it's the resource appendix or our alerting, emergency alerting, that we have those things updated as needed. Recommendations, just to have the city council adopt the updated emergency operations plan, which will help us support our readiness and be in compliance with that, and more than willing to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes.
Mayor, before you go to City Council, I mean, just as in addition to what Paul has discussed, this is a very comprehensive plan that's been due for an update for quite some time. And I think many of us still very much remember 2023. At a time I was here as well, and you know about the rain event. We get 16 inches of rain in a matter of a week. The creek was coming up. Those are just some of the realistic catastrophe that may happen to the city, right? In preparation for this plan, we hope that we never have to use it, but it's one of those things that we must have, so that in events that those things have to come in place, is that all your staff understand all the level of disaster and the uniqueness to each one of those disasters, and then we can respond to them. The plan is the start, and it cannot come at a better time, because we are working on design of our EOC, that this is going to be integrated to a part of that, so that way when there are disasters, whether it's drought, earthquake, flood, levee failures, or pandemic, that your staff, as well as the city council, know how to communicate, how to implement, because it's go above and beyond just the planning phase, the implementation, the search and rescue, the communications, and then the back end of it, how do we recover some of that financial loss that may come with a disaster. So this is a very comprehensive plan. It will be a living document, to where as we do tabletop exercise, we get our community involved, that these plans continue to get updated as we move forward.
Thank you. And the plan is very complete. Good job, Chief. I remember back, I think it was 1996, when we had that was another really bad flood year, when the ones that were in Los Banos, we had a berm going down Ortigalita. It was a mess, but I remember, staff did an excellent job, but there was the coordination between the public and communication. Luckily, we had just gone online with our TV and our council meetings, and so we could do updates daily. The staff could and council members could, and that was really important. So I'm glad we're following through on this, and it's a good plan. Any other questions by council? Then if I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 7034 as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Resolution 7034. As stated, any further questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, Chief. Item 11, consideration of adoption of the City Council number 7035, authorizing city contributions to mayor and the city council members, city clerk, city treasurer, health and welfare benefits, and reimbursement. So, Lucy, I'm going to turn this over and you can explain what's going on with this.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. This item is a resolution regarding city contributions for health and welfare benefits for the mayor, city council members, city clerk, and city treasurer, and an update to the cell phone reimbursement policy. The city of Los Banos has historically provided elected officials with health and welfare benefits that are similar to those provided to city employees. These benefits include medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, participation in Section 125 cafeteria plan, retiree health savings contributions, Social Security, and Medicare, access to the Employee Assistance Program, and reimbursement for official city business expenses. All of these benefits are already included in the adopted budget, and this resolution simply continues those existing practices. State law allows the city to provide these benefits as long as they are consistent with employee benefits. The law also authorizes compensation and benefits for the city clerk and city treasurer and ensures that those benefits do not exceed what is provided to non-safety employees. Elected officials may also choose to participate in CalPERS for pension and health benefits if they elect to do so. This resolution continues the city's current practice of offering benefits through the cafeteria plan and the retiree health savings plan, with the city contributing $75 per month to the retiree health savings plan for each participating elected official. Former elected officials may continue health coverage on a self-pay basis, and eligible retirees may access retiree health benefits through CalPERS. For those who participate in CalPERS, the city pays the required employer contribution. The city also pays the employer portion of Social Security and Medicare for elected officials as required under federal law. Currently, this is 6.25% for Social Security and 1.45% for Medicare. Elected officials also pay their employee share through payroll deductions. These contributions are provided in the same manner as they are for city employees and are not counted toward the statutory compensation limits. The resolution also updates the cell phone policy. Instead of a flat monthly allowance, elected officials would have the option to either be reimbursed for actual documented cell phone costs related to city business or be provided with a city-issued phone. Reimbursement for other official business expenses would continue with proper documentation. All benefits are optional and may be waived. If the city clerk or city treasurer also serves as a city employee, they would not receive duplicate benefits. This item aligns with the recent citywide updates to the Policy and Procedures Manual approved by Council in November and ensures consistency across city policies. There is no new fiscal impact as funding is already included in the adopted fiscal year 25-26 budget. And we recommend adoption of the resolution, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so basically, like Lucy said, we updated our employee documents. So we then have to update the city council and elected official documents. Really, nothing has changed. There's some procedural things like trying to clean it up, cell phone, or you have to every month turn in your bill. It has to be justified and everything like that. But really nothing has changed. Nothing's changing. We're just following the state regulations and making sure that our employees' documents are the same as elected official document. So nothing really has changed in any of that. And I don't know, is there any questions by any of the council? Just trying to clean up the black and white stuff on this paper, I guess. Okay, then I will entertain a motion for Resolution 7035. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll go ahead and open a public comment. Anybody wants to talk about this, tell us something? I'll give you 3 minutes, public comment. You know, and then starting next year, and I've said this a couple times at the end of the meetings, we're changing there'll be public comment at every item on the agenda, and we'll be open to people speaking to us from home, and that's all change that's coming through the state guidelines, so that's coming. So not seeing anyone coming forward, I'll go back and send it back to the city council to entertain a motion for Resolution 7035.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 7035 as read by title.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for Resolution 7035 as stated. Any further comments or questions? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Lucy. And we will move on to item 12, consideration of adoption of the City Council Resolution 7036, rejecting all bids received for the Canal Trail Solar Lighting Project. And we'll go to our Public Works Director, Vi.
Okay, good evening again, Mayor and council members. This project, the item here before you is a project for the solar lighting along the canal trail. It was initiated from public comments received during the Parks Master Plan process and other public input opportunities to enhance the canal trail. There was a grant was received by the San Joaquin River Exchange Contractors Water Authority for $125,000. And then there was $325,000 appropriated in fiscal year 2025-2026 for this project. And the intention is to light the full length of the trail from Pioneer Road to I Street. That's a little background on the project. Bids were received, and the lowest bidder submitted a substitute light and pole that was substandard from what we were requesting. It was below the specs in a number of areas, including the battery, the quantity, and the warranty, and then the remaining bidders were all over budget. So the recommendation here tonight is to reject this round of bids and rebid the project with a smaller amount of lights, and we'll focus those lights on the more traveled areas where people congregate, maybe where the trail splits off and comes back together. And then we can also add another bid item in there in case the bids come in lower and we have enough funding that we'll add back in some of those lights so that we could get more of them done, an optional bid item. But there are other options that the city council can consider, and some of those include reducing the specifications for the lights, which we do not recommend. We can lighting a portion of the trail instead of trying to light the entire trail, and we can add additional funding to the project so that we can rebid it and make sure that we get it done. So we're here to receive any direction that the council may want to provide, but our recommendation is to reject the bids and direct Public Works staff to rebid this project with a smaller scope. And I'm here for any questions you may have.
Questions? You think it's possible that we could do what you said? Think you could go through and get it lit by another, is there any other grants out there? I know this came through.
It's possible, and off the top of my head, I don't know what the deadline is for expending the grant that we did receive, but the idea is to remove enough lights. We have enough bids so we can see really what the cost really should be, that we can scope it down far enough and still light up a majority of the trail that just may be the lights may be a little bit further apart. And with the optional bid item, we can then include if we subtract 10, we could have like an option for the other 10, so that if they do come in below budget, that we can then exercise that option and add those 10 back. And one of the good things about this is they're all solar, so there's no electrical, there's no wiring, no conduit, no underground work that has to be done. So say we cut 20 lights out next year or the following year, if we have funding available, we can add those lights back and light up those areas where we removed them, and we don't have to run any conduit or any pull boxes because it's just the light with the solar panel and a battery.
Myself, I'd rather see that approach, to do it right. Piece we're going to do, make sure it's right, instead of trying to spread it out and have a lot of dark areas. I don't think is the answer. That's just my opinion on it. Any comments?
Mayor, and I think that's what we kind of take a look at, and that's why, because the budget has already been approved as it is, it's $125,000 from the grant plus additional city discretionary fund that's already put into it. We didn't want to increase that because there is a deadline also that we have to get this grant expend, and that we can do this project in phase. And that's like, for William's sake, rather than making the entire project as the base bid, we can reduce it to high use area. For example, the crossing, the bridge for the high school. We know that at times after games and whatnot, children can be coming home. So those would be the high use area that we would consider as a base bid with the amount of lighting frequency that we currently have in place, so that would get lit first. Second is like at Persimmon Park, where there's a lot of congregation, people enjoying the park. We can continue to build those out. Yes, there might be portions of it in the middle that may not be part of the base bid, but we're definitely going to be putting it back in there as a bid alternative. So in an event that, let's say, for example, next year, the San Joaquin River Exchange contractor have another round of grant that can provide another $125,000 to $150,000 worth of funding, we can go after those because we already have the bid numbers and stuff that we know what a good accurate estimate is for that portion that we can go after again. But at least this will resolve some of the issue of, kids going to school dark at night. And then, like William said, because there is no electrical wire on the ground, we can really deploy these on phases.
Okay, I understand. Any
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah, Bill. So, is there like a what do you call it, lifespan for the batteries for solar and all that? Is there?
There is, and the one that was the lowest bidder was substandard. It didn't meet the specs that we were asking for, so it wouldn't have lasted as long, and the warranty wasn't going to be as long for those specific lights and poles, which is why we want to reject the bids, because we don't want to put it in and then have to go spend another $300,000 in 10 years to replace everything.
Yeah, so, and I'm thinking if we're doing it also in like you're saying, in bits and pieces, we don't have to, replace all those batteries at the same time if the project was done at once. If you do it in stages, then you're replacing in stages too, so.
Exactly.
minimize. Yep, all right, thanks.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to reject these bids.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 7035 as read by title. 736, I'm sorry.
Second?
Okay, a motion for resolution 7036 as stated. Further questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carried. Thank you, William.
Thank you.
And Mayor, just to confirm, after the motions, the direction from council is to reduce the scope, create a new base bid to where it's within the budget, and then have those bid alternative in an event that we can't afford those other portions in phases, right?
Yes.
Confirms.
Everybody
That's the
agrees.
direction.
I think that was part of the resolution.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll go to city department reports, and we'll start with our community and economic director, development director, Stacy Souza Elms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. So I just want to highlight some projects that were recently approved by the Planning Commission back on December 10th, last Wednesday. a redevelopment. So it was a demolition and redevelopment of 1015 East Pacheco, which is right next to the Chevron off of 10th Street. Was approved, and also Villages 6 subdivision, which was for 30 units, which is just southwest of Walmart. And then we had a back-to-back meeting on Thursday. We had an adjourned meeting for San Luis Estates subdivision, which was approved for 96 units. Of those three projects, Villages 6 for 30 units will be coming before the city council for consideration of a final development plan and a development agreement. And then I also want to highlight to the council that our next regularly scheduled planning commission meeting would fall on December 24th, so that meeting will be canceled. Our next planning commission meeting will be January 14th in the new year with our new planning commissioner. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Stacy. And, our incredible finance director has been forgotten a little bit lately. And her name was off. I introduced everybody at our open house that started around 4:30 this afternoon, and I missed introducing our finance director, Minnie Moreno. So, Minnie, it's all yours.
I forgive you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay. So for me, I just want to remind customers again with high balances on their utility bills to make sure they're contacting customer service, billing customer service to make payment plans or make any arrangements. We're going to start shutting water services off in the end of January. So please give us a call and see how we can help in getting those set up. I also want to thank the community for the work. They've been supporting the campaign, Shop Smart, Support Local. A lot of enthusiasm with our pins and our shirts and the banner. And as our banner says downtown, every dollar counts. And so getting that word out and having our community really support the campaign has been really nice to see out there. So we're also going to start, if you could believe it, mid-year budget meetings, reviews with our departments. And so we're going to have those mid-January, and then we're going to be bringing to council the mid-budget year in February. So be ready for that. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our fire chief, Paul Twala.
Good evening again. I only have a couple things. We did have a swearing-in ceremony this week. It was probably our largest swearing-in ceremony where we swore in our 2 new battalion chiefs. Thank you for those positions in this budget. Thank you, Minnie, for making sure that happened. So, that was really well attended. So we appreciate the support on that. Santa is out in the engine this week. They were out tonight. They'll be out Friday, Sunday, and then Monday night. So we always look forward to that. And I've been working with our PD staff in regards to the American Medical Response transition. The Board of Soups approved yesterday for the transition to actually happen on New Year's Eve at noon to help offset that midnight transition on January 1. So we're looking forward to that. They're ready to go. And they've really been very communicative with all of the local providers, both first response agencies and law enforcement agencies throughout the county, and the public safety answering points to make sure that everything's getting addressed for the transition. So I'm excited for them to start, and I'll be out there making sure that we are out there supporting them. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Chief. Human Resource Director, Lucy Melanie. Lucy, anything?
Mr. Mayor and City Council, since our last council meeting, we've welcomed 5 new employees across several departments, and 2 employees have also received promotions. By year end, we expect at least 3 more new hires, and on January 1st, we're expecting to hire 10 more employees. So we are proud to highlight several key milestones. We hired our first full-time city attorney. We hired our first full-time city engineer. and we welcomed a new city manager. Over the past year, we have posted 52 recruitments and onboarded 47 new employees across multiple departments, including public works, maintenance workers, utility maintenance, engineering techs, facilities manager, operations manager, custodians, city engineer, public works director. In the police department, we hired police officers, police officer trainees, police sergeants, community services officers, public safety dispatchers, admin clerks. In the fire department, we hired firefighters, fire engineers, fire captains, and battalion chiefs. In the finance department, we hired Minnie Moreno, the finance director, a finance manager, and account clerks. In Parks and Rec, we hired recreation coordinators, part-time rec assistants, part-time maintenance workers. In community and economic development, we hired a homeless outreach coordinator and an administrative coordinator. In admin, we hired an assistant city clerk, records coordinator, and HR technicians. We are currently recruiting for several additional positions, including community services officer, lateral police officer, and administrative coordinators. And if you're interested in working for the city, it's a wonderful place to work. Please visit our website or contact HR at City Hall at 827-2427. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize the awesome HR team that I work with, whose hard work and dedication makes all this possible. They are Sarah Blevins, the HR analyst, Viana Lynn, the assistant city clerk records coordinator, Yada Del Riel, the HR technician who runs payroll, and Brenda Sehar, the other HR technician. Thanks to their efforts over the past year, we have processed 4,990 payroll checks. We've processed at least 12 city council agenda packets, which included processing 170 resolutions and 8 ordinances. Finally, I want to thank the mayor, city council members, city manager, and department heads for your continued support and leadership, which has helped us build a strong city team. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, before I move on, Lucy this is her last city council meeting that she'll be human resource director. She's going to retire at the end of the year. She still will stay on as city clerk. Thank God. But she's been 31 years with the city, has done an incredible job. She was here when I first got elected in '94. She had already been here a year or so. Those times were unbelievable. Now it's even better. And I think about the process, especially this last year. I don't know I think there's only be like 2 people in this room that's up here. Deborah, Stacy, the 2 chiefs that would be here if it wasn't for Lucy. The reason why I ran for mayor, though a lot of reasons, is because of that girl over there. Because she told me what was going on and then convinced my wife and I to do it. So I cannot thank her enough. This city cannot thank her enough for what she has done for this city government and for the people of Los Banos. And we have more things coming down the road for her because she still will be at our meetings. Yeah, I'm sorry to do it to you, but she's been unbelievable. So Lucy, we love you, and at least you'll be with us at our meetings. So thank you for staying on as city clerk, which is a very important part of her job, but she'll be retiring for our human resource director. And I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we'll try to find somebody to take your place. There'll be one more position. So on behalf of all the citizens of Los Banos, thank you very, very much. Okay, now we will move on to let's see, Joe Heim, Park Recreation Director, is on vacation.
Mayor, I have a quick update.
Oh, you do?
for
Okay,
Joe.
that'd be great. Thanks.
So Joe wanted me to announce, first of all, he didn't ask me to announce this, but I think it was an excellent Breakfast with Santa event last Saturday. And that's Joe putting that all together. The first year it has grown. Since the first year Joe was here, it's just grown exponentially. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger and better. So that was a successful event. The Christmas parade, he had a lot to do with that, with setting up the tree at the end and all that. So I think those were both successful events. And Joe wanted me to announce that Shaughnessy Park is now open. There's going to be a big grand opening sometime in the spring when the weather gets a little better. Although today would have been a nice day for it this afternoon anyways. But I told Joe that I would make that announcement.
Great. Thank you, William. Thank you for doing that. So we'll move on to our police chief, Ray Reyna. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. A few items. I wanted to take a moment to thank the Los Banos community. This month, we concluded our 12th annual canned food drive. And so this canned food drive is something that we put together for the Los Banos community. And this year, we were able to raise, again, over 10,000 pounds of food that went to to our two largest locations in town that assist local residents. So we dropped off a bunch of food to the Salvation Army, Bethel Community Church, and all of this went to help our Los Banos community. So thank you to those who assisted and to the school district that really came through this year. December, there are a lot of events that we put together for the community. So thank you for those who came out to our hot cocoa event. It was cold, but it was fantastic. This year's Cops for Kids was well organized. We gave away about 500 bags of toys to local children and families, many of whom we got to hang out with at the police department, take pictures with. And this is put together by Police Activities League Officer Miriam Rivas. And the same evening, we did our annual Shop with a Cop event, and we took 53 local children. We got the names from the school district. These are the kids that needed it the most. And we took them to a local store. We took them on a shopping spree. And we took them and we bought them socks and shoes and toothbrushes and toys and jackets and sweaters and all kinds of good things that they needed. So it was a real blessing for them and us as well. This month, I want to congratulate Officer Will Marquise, who was honored as the VFW Officer of the Year. So they invited him to their event. They had selected him. Very well deserving, good public servant right there, good hire. We talked about the SNP bus. I think we did, 76 or so. And this is all in our ongoing efforts to reduce the number of unwanted animals that constantly come into our shelter, and we got to figure out what we're going to do with them. There's a lot of effort that goes into that. So thank you to the council for putting that money in the budget for us. A reminder, tomorrow, our lateral police officer, Zach Zuspin, will be sworn in at the police department at 9:30. Hope to see you all there. It was a very busy week, very busy weekend for our staff, for the police department. So I want to thank the council for giving us the tools that we need, the staffing, the equipment. It really makes a difference. So we want to thank you. I want to also thank the staff this year. It was a busy year, but everyone came together, police, sworn and non-sworn. And so I want to thank my staff. They really do care. They really do a fantastic job. It is my honor to be their chief. And then finally, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, a safe one. And on behalf of the LBPD and my family, I hope you guys all have a great Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, very much. And our Public Works Director, William Vai. William?
Thank you. First off, the contractor that's working on the basin project on the east side of town mobilized on Monday, so they've They've moved some equipment out there. They started doing a little bit of clearing and grubbing, so that project has taken off. It's might get a little delayed. We got some rain on the way, starting, I think, on Sunday all through Christmas even. So it may be a little bit delayed, but at least they're out there and working. The next thing I wanted to mention is leaf season. I know I mentioned this earlier, but with the cooler temperatures that we've had and then this rain coming, that's going to knock a lot of those leaves off, and hopefully all of them, so we could make another trip through town and be done with it. But Mark Hagee, which this is why he's Employee of the Year, he assured me that leaves will be picked up except on Christmas and New Year's. So the regular days, he'll have staff out there picking those leaves up. So they'll try to stay on top of that. And then lastly, I'd like to congratulate Lucy on her retirement and thank her for all of the work that she's done. And I don't know how many people she has helped me hire just in the last 2 months that I've been here, but multiple positions have been filled. So thank you, Lucy. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you, William. City Manager, you're on that.
Well, Mayor, this is my 7th week with the city. It has been moving very, very fast. I can't believe that this is our last council meeting for the calendar year. To echo a lot of the stuff that our staff is talking about, I just want to thank you all for all that you do, for continue to show up to works and do the hard stuff. And also think about the futures, what this city could look like, and provide those technical input to our council, to our commissioner, and stay open to the public. Be respectful, and then continue to gather all of those and provide those technical feedback back to us, so that decision can be made on a lot of those long-term solutions for our community. Things like the Chromium 6, things like intersections like Vineyards and Dove, although it sounds small, it's just, a couple words, it takes years to deliver. And thank you for having the perseverance to really push that project along and staying on top of it. Additionally, thank you for continue to build partnership with our other jurisdictions. I know in the past that has been a challenge for our city. In the last 2 months, I have witnessed all of you reaching out to all of our partner agencies, work with each one of them, and actually come to find solutions so that our community can continue to grow and improve on every aspect of life. Everything from public safety to our long-term planning, public works, and park and recreations. Every initiative takes a lot of time. We might only see it at a council meeting, for a discussion that is only 20, 30 minutes, but that takes months and sometimes years for it to come to fruition. Example tonight, the EOP plan. It took us 15 minutes to present that, to discuss that plan, but it actually took over 2 years to develop those, to analyze and making sure that all of us can go home safe. And in an event that you have a disaster and you need someone, that the city will be there for you. So that is the initiative that we continue to have. And we look forward to the resident to continue to provide input on a lot of those new planning, because coming January 2026, we'll be doing a lot of master planning updates, and we'll need all of the feedback from the community to build what's the next 20 years of our city will look like. Otherwise, I want to echo our staff also. Thank you, Lucy, for everything that you do. For the last couple of years that I've been working with you, for providing me guidance, as well as being a mentor on a lot of the different subjects that I'm not a subject matter expert of. Thank you for all your service, and I look forward to our continued friendships as well beyond your directorship. So thank you, Lucy. That's conclude my update, Mayor.
Thank you, Nara. So we'll start with Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Deborah Lewis, District 4. Deborah.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, we had a very fruitful month with events in December and the latter part of November. I had the opportunity to attend the grand opening for Uno Hawaiian Barbecue, as well as some of our other staff and council members on December 5th. And I think it's going to be a very successful restaurant here in Los Banos. The food was absolutely excellent. Also, I want to congratulate James. I can't remember his last name. The new Russell? Kozak, thank you. Our new city engineer. Welcome aboard. I know he's gone already, but we all look forward to working with him. And to Jolene for her promotion, well deserved. And to our fire chief, all of the new promotions that you had, and one new employee coming in from the LA area is going to be a great asset to our fire department in our community. Also, on December the 3rd, we had our annual movie night at Fire Station 1. The movie was Home Alone, which is one of my favorite during Christmas time, one of the 3 favorites. And they also had popcorn and hot cocoa, and the cocoa was really good, Chief. It was really good. So the attendance was really nice. As always, the children come out with their families and they have their pajamas on and just have a really good time watching the movie. And then some gifts were given away at the end. So thank you, Chief, for that annual event. December the 13th, I think Mr. Vi already indicated, was Breakfast with Santa. That was my 13th year being able to work that event. And I really enjoy working with the guys who work in that kitchen. They're outstanding. They're great cooks. They know exactly how to put this together, and they keep it going. And my job is to yell out hot cakes, because we've run out of hot cakes in that pan, and it's time for them to bring more over. So it's really been a great time working with the staff from Park and Recreation on that Breakfast with Santa. Well, and also, Chief, your cocoa with the popo, I was there, but not long, because it was cold. I was freezing from head to toe, but you guys stuck it out and gave out some really nice gifts, and it was well attended. So thank you. I think that's your 3rd annual one, is it? The 3rd annual Cocoa with the Popo. So we look forward to it next year, and hopefully it won't be as cold as it was this year. It will be. I'm going to put Lucy on the spot again, so if you need some more tissue, I'll be happy to pass my box over to the chief to hand it to her. But Lucy has, for me, been very helpful to guide me in rules about being a council member, keeping me abreast to things that I don't understand in regards to personnel for council people. When I have a tendency to forget, she's been there to remind me. When I have to travel out of town for city business or for other committees that I sit on, she's made sure that I have a vehicle available so that I can get there. During the rough times, she was there for me. She was a good companion, and I hope I was there for her. So I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss going in her office to say hello, because not only is she an employee, but she's been a good friend to me as well. And I do wish her well. I hope that she's definitely got her hands full, walking out of this job. But find some time for you to just enjoy life and relax, because that's important. And do something that's going to keep your mind stimulated. Otherwise, it'll end up being like mine, and it'll freeze up on you at times. But job well done for 31 years. She was there when I was on the Planning Commission, and I've just enjoyed working with her these 13 years on City Council. So, Lucy, enjoy your life, and job well done. That's all I'm going to say, job well done. Our open house was well attended tonight. Was happy to see everyone come out and enjoy the festive time and to be able to talk to the people that were here. And I want to wish our staff a very Merry Christmas, a very safe Christmas, not only to our staff, but to our commissions, to our volunteers, and to all the residents of Los Banos. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deborah. Council Member District 1, Mitzi Press.
Thank you. I just want to thank all staff for all the work they do.
this month, was absolutely amazing with all the events. The hot cocoa event. I was very happy to be part of the breakfast with Santa. My first time joining Deborah there. It was a lot of fun, and just seeing everyone there, very happy to play mini golf and enjoy some pancakes. It was amazing being there. So thank you for inviting me. I just also want to thank everyone, and specifically Lucy, for helping me out. I just joined and you were so helpful when I first joined the council. So congratulations on your retirement. And I want to wish everyone here, all staff and all the residents, a very Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone has a joyful and relaxing time with their families, and just happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see, Evan Sanders, District 2. Evan?
So congratulations to Mark on Employee of the Year. And congratulations to James, but it sounds like we have a bunch of people that we've hired recently. So congratulations to everyone who's joined staff, and to Jillian on her promotion, and to the chief and all of your new people. And it's great that we're filling out that department. Overall, it's been really cool to be part of this year. I feel like I'm still finding my feet. Every time I get a new agenda, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to look into that. But it's taken a year before I kind of feel like I'm sort of know what I'm doing up here a little bit. And that's really thanks to staff and the job that you guys all do with making sure that we're well prepared, and that everything is just tight. I look into things and I ask questions of people, and there's always answers that make sense, and there's history and background. It's just, I really appreciate it. And Lucy is the person that if I don't know who to go to, I always go to Lucy, and she's amazing. I've only been here for a year, so it's such a small fraction of your career, but I can see why you're so well loved around here, and I can only assume that Joe Heim's going to do a great job filling your shoes in interim. So yeah, I think we've made a lot of progress with the city this year. I'm really happy how much we've gotten done. I think a big change from 1 year ago. We've got the homeless are in a much better situation. Not ideal, but way better than it was a year ago. And yeah, it's just been really educational and fun. Only event this year I've managed to get to in the holiday season is the hot cocoa with Popo. I can confirm the cocoa was hot and the weather was cold. But it was a nice event. I wish I could have stayed longer, but it was cold. And I didn't bring any gloves. So that's all for me. Happy Christmas to all. Good night.
Thank you, Evan. We'll go to District 3, Marcus Chavez.
Well, a lot of everything's already been said. Definitely, Chief, thanks to you and the staff as far as the cocoa and the popo. It was freezing. I do want to say thanks to Chetna, though, for the cocoa. She kept me going, though. So, that was good. So hopefully she knows, and thank you again. Chief Tuala, for the parade, Christmas parade, thank you for the truck, and Juan for driving us around, and Buddy the elf, he got promoted too, so we were there for all the promotions, along with our finance director, Minnie Moreno, was there at the firehouse, when that happened. Thank you for coming, finance director, Minnie Moreno.
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Finance director.
Director. That's
Minnie
right.
Moreno, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, Ono Hawaiian, hey, was great. That was fantastic. Mark, again, congratulations for, the Employee of the Year, as well as the new hires, and there's a lot of them. Lucy, don't worry. I'm not going to make you cry. You're not going anywhere. You're still going to be around, so I'm glad you're still going to be around, and, everything Miss Lewis said, but thank you very much for everything, and you'll still be here. You'll still be here. And everybody, the community, thanks for coming out for the parade. There was a lot of people out there. That was pretty cool. It was cold, but it was cool. And also, Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. This was definitely an interesting year for me, along with Evan. I'm on the ride with him, starting with this journey, and thanks to the staff for sure, because I probably keep asking the same questions and some dumb questions and coming back, but they always line me out and say, hey, this, that, and the other, and they make sense, like Evan said. And, thank the entire staff and everything that's you guys do. The city couldn't get all this stuff done without everything that you guys are doing. So thank you again. I also want to say thanks to, Neron. Thank you very much. You've stepped in. You've been here for like 7 weeks, and it doesn't feel like we missed a beat. You had big shoes to fill with Gary, and we've been moving. So really good, and Mary as well. Thank you. There's a lot of change going on here, and but I think we're moving in the right direction. I know we're not perfect. At least I know I'm not. But we try our best. We really are trying to improve the city. We are trying to, I know we don't make everybody happy all the time, but best intentions are always what we're trying to do here. So Merry Christmas, and thank you to everyone. Mayor?
Thank you, Marcus. And I want our next city council meeting, we have to add city attorney as a department because now we have actually a department instead of someone that is on the outside. We've had a lot of questions about the homeless community encampment, and we had a letter and I want to explain why the city did these options, what our thinking was up here. And I do appreciate Julie Creighton's letter that was read at the public forum. She was well thought out, her comments are well thought out, and she makes some very good points. First, our long-term goal is that we will not need bridge housing in the future. That's my long-term goal. The One Tree Village is intended to be our permanent solution. That said, we still have to meet the state's current requirements, and the decision was about choosing the most practical and responsible path. The choice really came down to two options: purchasing an existing motel or using state-approved pallet homes that are available at a discount to the city. I have a lot of experience in this area. I served as chair of the Designated Local Authority for 12 years, which took over the old redevelopment agency, and we were responsible for buying, selling, and rehabilitating many properties, about $165 million of property that were located in Merced City and Los Banos. Here is how buying an older property typically works, and I have this experience. A seller will come to the city asking way over top dollar. Why? Because the city has money. Then the city goes out and gets an appraisal, which usually comes in 40, 50, 60% of the asking price of the seller. And the negotiations start, and that takes time. Many sellers assume that the government, of course, has deep pockets and can pay any asking price. But we are bounded by state regulations and rules, and that we have to play by. And at this point, the city has to convince the seller to accept our offer, or we can consider eminent domain, which this council will never do. So we're not into any of that stuff. But we have to reach a purchase price. And if we do reach the purchase price, that's just the beginning. The building then has to come up to code. We had, through the DLA, we had one building that was worth about $200,000 that needed $1 million to bring it up to code. That's the kind of experience I had in my 12 years with the DLA. Of course, it requires engineering, and engineers like to over-engineer so they can protect their license, and that's understandable. This adds time and cost. The process, then the project goes out to bid, which adds more time, increases the cost at least another 30%, because we pay prevailing wages. Realistically, the process to buy a hotel or motel that's in this town, rehab it, go through all those processes that I just talked about, I would guess would be a minimum of 2 years, if not 3. The pallet homes avoid many of those issues. They have already been pre-approved by the state, including the engineering, the design, and the company that will install them. That alone saves us at least a year. There are fewer surprises, and once infrastructure is in place, the units can be installed efficiently. That gives us a lot of time saving, and we can move on to our next step in dealing with the situation of the encampment on G Street. Another very important part is the flexibility. If we reach a point where bridge housing is no longer needed, which I hope comes one day, we are not left with an aging structure that the city now owns. And then we have to come figure out what we're going to repurpose it, or we have to sell it. If the city sells property, it has to first be offered to all the taxing agencies in our area, the county, the school district, the mosquito abatement district. It's crazy stuff. The One Tree Village is designed to ultimately address the needs of our unhoused residents and approach and align with that goal. Finally, I want to be clear that this is not the end of this conversation with the council and our staff. One of the things I intend to bring forward to this council next year includes a work program for able-bodied, unemployed individuals who are using city facilities. Help should come with responsibility. Nothing in life is free, and our approach should reflect that balance. So I appreciate Julie Creighton's letter, but that's why we made the decisions we made. Now, lastly, as we come to our last city council meeting of the year, I want to start by saying thank you to everybody. Thank you to our department heads and the many dedicated employees that serve our city, keep it running every single day. Your commitment, professionalism, and willingness to step up during a year of major change has made a real difference for Los Banos and the residents we serve. I can say without hesitation that this past year has brought more change to local government than at any other time in this city's history. Change is not always easy, but it's often a necessity. This council understood that we have to make decisions to give our staff the tools they need to get the job done right. Because of that commitment, we have hired more, like Lucy said earlier, 30 new employees, including key department heads, including Minnie. We included Minnie on that, to ensure the city runs efficiency, responsible, and with the future in mind. Just giving you a bad time, Minnie. I also want to thank my fellow council members for your support on all these matters. You backed the hard decisions, you supported rebuilding this organization, and you stayed focused on what's best for Los Banos and for our future. A big part of future is our growth of our city. I want to be clear that this council's goal is not to have unchecked growth. Our goal is controlled growth that benefits our existing residents. That growth will include more affordable first-time home buyer housing. Growth that makes sense. When you think like a business, and that's my 40 years as a business person, that's how I think, you have to have adequate inventory to meet your demands. This also helps the pricing of the homes. And housing is no different. Whether there are 100 approved homes or 1,000 approved homes, what matters is that we control the pace through a growth management system. That is how we protect infrastructure, maintain the quality of life, and still meet state requirements. I know many residents want more choices. We want more businesses, we want more restaurants, and we need good paying jobs to come to our town. And this city council wants the exact same thing. Just last week, at the opening of Ono Hawaiian Barbecue, the regional manager asked me one simple question. Is Los Banos going to grow? That is the reality we live in today. Yes, I wish it was Los Banos 1985. But this is California 2025. We don't get to ignore growth, but we do get to manage it wisely. If we follow this formula, Los Banos can become more self-sufficient, self-sustaining while controlling what happens here locally. We have seen what happens when a city does not follow this plan. Just recently, the state of California sued the city of Clovis for not complying with the state growth requirements. We are determined to do the right thing the right way for our residents and for our future. Finally, I want to say thank you to the citizens of Los Banos. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your engagement. And thank you for your support. This city is moving forward and is moving forward because of you. I am very proud to be your mayor. Merry Christmas. May God bless our community. This meeting's adjourned.